A Simple Pastor's Devotion, July 21st, 20. You know, as you look around today, and we really see our country in a crisis, at least on the streets of our cities, and it's a troubling time. And it's a troubling time for a lot of people, not just here in America, but around the world. Loss of income, loss of jobs, loss of opportunities, wondering about the fear of tomorrow, all crisis. You know, how do you make it through a crisis? I think I found a perfect answer when Jesus was in the garden before the crucifixion, when he had come to his last hours on earth. He prayed this way as he was facing the struggle of the crucifixion. He prayed this. It says there in Luke chapter 22, verse 39, and he came out and he went, as was his custom, to the Mount of Olives. And the disciples followed him. And when he came to the place, he said to them, "Pray that you may not enter into temptation." And he withdrew from them about a stone's throw, knelt down and prayed, saying, "Father, if you are willing, remove this cup from me." He was talking about the cup of suffering he would face at the crucifixion, talking about the wrath of God coming on him because of the sin he was about to bear for the world. He was taking our sin penalty upon himself. The one who had never sinned, the one who was from the Father, the one who is the Son of God, went and faced the wrath of God against sin for us. So he looked into this cup of suffering and saw the excruciating pain of it, and even prayed that it might be taken away. But then he went further in his prayer. "Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." Praying for the will of the Father to go to that cross, to die for sinners, that we might be forgiven and free of our sin. It goes on, and there appeared to him an angel from heaven, strengthening him. That angel came to strengthen Jesus in his flesh. Jesus was fully God, but he became a man. He was fully a man. 100% God and 100% man. Just the miracle of the conception of the Son of God. That he became a man. And he experienced the world that we live in, the world under sin, under the curse. Yet he went through this world without sin, seeking to do his Father's will. And even in this hour of suffering, praying, "Not my will, but yours be done." And he found the strength to stand. The angel strengthening him, and being in agony, prayed more earnestly, and his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down to the ground. That's a medical condition where the capillaries in the fat of your skin, under intense stress, under intense pressure, can literally break open and cause blood to be mingled with your sweat. Very dangerous condition. And Jesus experienced this as he faced the crucifixion. Verse 45, and when he rose from prayer, he came to his disciples and found them sleeping for sorrow, and said to them, "Why are you sleeping? Rise and pray that you may not enter into temptation." Again, how do you handle crisis? You realize it's a spiritual battle. You realize this fight with your flesh, the weakness of the flesh, is a spiritual battle. You need a spiritual aid. You need to deal with it spiritually. Jesus prayed. We need to pray. We need to seek God through his Spirit. Matthew, talking about the exact same event in Matthew 26, this comment is added, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. I talked about the spirit of man. There's part of us that we want God. It's willing, but our flesh is so weak. We need prayer, but we need something more. We need the indwelling presence of the Holy Spirit. We need to make a commitment to Christ. And because we trust Christ, He forgives us, and the Holy Spirit enters our life and enables us to not just live in the flesh, but live in the Spirit, live in the Holy Spirit. Have our spirit strengthened unto God so that we too pray, not my will, Father, but yours. As you go through this crisis, focus not on just what your flesh is going through, but ask God to teach your spirit. If you don't know God, come to Christ. Have the Holy Spirit given to you, and live in the power of the Holy Spirit. Through crisis, seek in prayer the will of God and not your own. Until we meet the Lord in the air, keep looking up. Clint Hiley, pastor and village missionary.